What's going on, guys? Caesar Media here. Today I'm gonna be working on my cafe racer. I'm gonna be working on the wiring of the cafe racer, or should I say rewiring, because there was a little incident that happened last night as I was cruising with a couple of my buddies. Thursday night, there is a cruise that starts from a shop called Moto Pow. Moto Pow is a little shop in Michigan who fixes and repairs and upgrades vintage bikes. There is a weekly meet at Moto Pow. I showed up there around 6 p.m. and just hanging out, and at 8 p.m. we all went out cruising towards Detroit, which is about a 30-minute ride from the shop, probably about 2 minutes down the road, not even a mile away from the shop. There is a construction zone. So on the left side is a paved road, like a normal road that you ride your motorcycle on. On the right side, it was unpaved construction area where you could ride your bike still, but it was unpaved. And between those two roads, there was about 2-inch height difference. So the guy in front of me took the unpaved road. I was right behind him, and he decided to cut from the unpaved to the paved road with the 2-inch height difference. So it's basically like a hopping a curve, right? He tried to swerve into the paved lane. His tire gets caught, and he starts wobbling as he's riding on the road, and he loses control, hits a curve, bike flips, and shoots sparks and starts skidding. And he's okay. The bike is, scratched up, but still, he was pretty shaken up. Right there and then, I didn't know the guy, but of course I stopped to help him out. I kept my bike running on the side, and next thing I know, as I'm checking this guy out and checking out his bike, my friends are looking at my bike and they're like, "Yo, Ishin, your bike is smoking. Like, it's literally catching on fire." I'm like, "No, it's the exhaust." So I look over my bike and it's literally smoking, like this huge cloud of smoke coming from my seat area. I'm like, holy shit, what is going on? So I immediately pop off the seat, which is not really mounted. It's just a couple of bolts that go into the seat. It's not really mounted from the bottom, so I just popped it off, and I noticed that my battery is shorting out on this seat, and it was starting to smoke, and it melted my whole wiring system under the seat. This was a existing problem that I knew that I didn't really fix, because I planned on going with the anti-gravity battery pack. So those small 8-cell battery packs, if I went with that, I would have to rewire the whole rear section of the bike anyways. So I was waiting for the winter to install the anti-gravity battery pack for a cleaner look and get rid of the existing charging system. However, my bike decided to catch on fire before I had a chance to rewire the back end of it. So what happened was, this seat is made out of steel under it, and because the battery terminals are sitting right on top of it, again, horrible idea, horrible design, but this is my first bike I ever built, like I said, and it was basically making a positive ground connection, and the cables started catching on fire and melting the insulation. So you can still see the red insulation here that got melted and basically got stuck under the seat. So what I had to do, thanks to the guys at Moto Pow shop, they went back to the shop, they grabbed a whole bunch of electrical tape like this and new wires. So basically what I did was rewire the rear end of the bike with electrical tape, couple wires, and pliers. So that's what happened, and today I'm going to be rewiring just the rear end of the bike, but not perfectly, because like I said, I'm going to be going with the anti-gravity battery pack this winter. So that means I'm going to have to re-weld the rear end of the bike and rewire it as well. So today I'm just going to repair it to a point where I can still ride again. And I'm also going to be adding a couple new parts, like the license plate bracket that I got in the mail, as well as the rear view mirror I got in the mail.
So this really was a bad design on my end. Like I said, this was my first bike I ever built, and I didn't think about this issue when I built it. I hope you guys learn from this mistake I made. But the battery pack, I of course designed and welded into this small box here for enclosure and protection, but I made it a little too perfect in terms of height. The height of the battery box matches the height of the battery pack essentially, which means the connectors are a little higher than the seat pan itself, and that is why it was hitting the seats. So that's one problem. The another problem is that these cables are sandwiched between the seat and the frame. When I thought about it last night, this should really run under the seat and up from the bottom of the bike. So that's what I'm gonna do. First, I'm gonna relocate this cable to under the panel and basically drill some holes so I can zip tie it so it stays in place on once under, but it's also stable. And I'm gonna run cable positive and negative coming in from the corners here into the battery pack, and I'm gonna have to insulate this. There isn't really a solution for my battery terminal hitting the seat pan issue right now. However, I'm gonna be replacing this whole thing with anti-gravity battery in the winter time, so I'm not worried about too much. It's just gonna be a temporary solution so that I can ride it for the rest of the season in the summer and redo the whole thing again for the winter time. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like now. I have replaced the cables up top completely and run it under the bike. I got some zip ties here, here, because I got the cables running underneath and it's being supported from bottom up. I still haven't really found the right solution for these terminals hitting the bottom of the seat, but that's okay because I'm going to be replacing this battery pack. Like I said, it's anti-gravity and I'm going to be relocating this whole piece, so it's just a temporary solution. As speaking of temporary solution, I put a little bolt here just to gain additional height so that the seat is not touching the red terminal anymore. And on the seat side as well, and I know this is kind of ghetto, but that's okay. I just want to ride through the rest of the season in the summertime. I put some washers on the seat panel here to gain additional clearance as well. So that's it, and it works great. And next up is my license plate holder bracket. This is a bracket I got on eBay for like 20 bucks. It's gonna be mounted on the axle, unlike the one I have here where it's like the washer is covering up the license plate. So that is super illegal, and it's a little sketchy too because if the bolt comes loose, that's gonna hit the tires and the spokes, and of course that's not so safe if you're riding on the highway or whatnot. So I'm gonna take off the axle nut on the left side here and just pop that bad boy on there and then try to see what it looks like. So this is the bracket I got on eBay. It's pretty nice quality, 20 bucks, you can't beat it. What I'm gonna do is first put the plate on here. I found some bolts in my garage, so I'm just gonna use that, mount it, bend it back a little bit like this, and see what it looks like. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna have to do is just remove this nut and place the plate like that. I hope it fits. Alright guys, the CB550 license plate mod has been done. It looks pretty good, looks professional, looks modern. The angle though, it looks like it's too low. I think if you're in a car looking at the bike from the behind, I don't think you can read the plate. I mean, even from here, I mean, crouching down, you can hardly see the D on the bottom. You really have to get down. So honestly, I might get pulled over with a license plate like this, but we'll see how this works. I did have it on the right side completely bent up before, so it's really not that much worse than it used to be. But yeah, so far I'm impressed with it. The $20 license plate bracket from eBay looks great, looks clean, and my bike electrical issue has been resolved. I hope it doesn't catch fire again anytime soon. But yeah, looks great. As always, thanks for watching the video guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in my next build video.